Okay, so I'm nervous and excited at the same time. This is a short intro video for something that is going to be big. I am launching a new podcast, as you can see, and it's going to be in English, as you can also hear, which is my first time ever recording a podcast that is going to be fully in English. By the way, my name is Orly Hartman. I am a singer-songwriter, an author, a coach, specialized in creativity, anything that has got to do with the depths of the mind, body, and soul. So many things are interesting to me, and over the past 10 years, I have been exploring and experimenting with different formats here on the internet. I started with a blog and a podcast at the time. I think it was actually 2018 when I first started posting things online. And it was like my first songs on SoundCloud. And then, that was my first blog. And so many experiments. And now I'm ready finally to be big with this new podcast. Because you know what? I've kind of always wanted to do something that was really free flow, and I never fully allowed myself to do so. I always tried to pick a specific topic, a specific niche, and I eventually became a little bit bored. You know, my last podcast, I did quite a few different podcasts on different themes just to cope with the fact that I was trying to niche down. And now I'm just like, I'm going to have my podcast. It's going to be Orly Hartman's podcast. And it's going to have a fun name that doesn't really mean much. So I can be super free of just talking about whatever is important to me right now, whatever this is going on as well. Like I want to tell my stories, my funny stories. And one of the things that brought me to this desire of creating this podcast is that I have a few friends that I send very long voice notes to as I'm processing my journey as a human being. And I realized that in those voice notes, I have had incredible insights, and I was like, I should share those. And maybe I could use this space as a voice note space. I'm not saying that I'm going to say exactly the same thing that I would my friends, but I want to experiment with this format that is going to be more vulnerable, more intimate. I'm going to share more of my personal stories. Not that I haven't done so in the past, really, but I think it's been a little bit controlled, a little bit more controlled. And I want to be more open with you guys. So the title of this podcast is Unsolicited Diaries. And it stems directly from the fact that when I share my voice notes to my friends, sometimes I'm like, they haven't asked for this. Like, maybe they don't care. I'm often having this kind of self-conscious thing where I'm like, maybe this is a bit unhinged. Maybe what I'm sharing is a bit too much. Maybe they don't really care about those details of my personal life. And then I just remind myself that they're my friends and they care. And then sometimes I happen to listen again to some voice notes that I sent, and I'm like, oh, but there is so much juice in there. And actually, my friend can get some insights and inspiration and resonance from what I share. So it's actually very valuable. And so I want you guys to also enjoy that resonance. So that's the intention. And and I'm super excited. I'm a bit shy. I'm a bit, I don't know, nervous because it's very new for me. And I can feel how protective I am, of maybe an image that I've created over the years, of someone who's super polished, that takes their time to talk. And yeah, I think I want you all to have access to maybe more parts of myself, to a bigger diversity, a greater diversity. Um, Even realizing as I'm speaking, like when I speak English, I switch from an accent to another. Like it's not easy to find what my accent is. Sometimes I will have more of a British accent like this, and sometimes I will speak more American or more like flat. I don't know, some kind of neutral accent, if that even exists. I don't know. And I love that. I love exploring all those facets of myself. But yeah, now you might be curious, what are we going to talk about? What do I talk about to my friends? I think I talk about relationships a lot. Um, how difficult relationships are. Romantic, friendship, family. Um, I talk a lot about my projects as well and how excited I am for all the new ideas I've got. So that's one other thing. And I just like to chat about whatever excites me in the moment, whatever makes me curious, whatever weird, philosophical, existential, spiritual reflection I'm currently doing. Sometimes based on just a movie I've watched or a person I've had a conversation with. And I would love to share that with you all here. I'm really curious where that's going to lead me, but I think a lot of it is going to lead me to share some personal stories that you might not know about me and that might resonate with your own experience and that might help you to be more gentle and loving towards yourself. I think that's the main thread that is throughout my work, is this self-love thing that I really care about, encouraging us to love ourselves and to respect ourselves and to trust our path, our unique path. I think it's something that the artistic journey has taught me, but that my life has taught me in general, following my own path, following my intuition, forgiving myself for my mistakes, seeing how those mistakes led me to learnings. I think I want to share very authentically about what's in my mind at the moment, and about some struggles and past struggles and present struggles. The questions that are on my mind, the experiments that I'm making. And just to give you a little bit of a summary, right now we are in June 2026, and I'm living in Amsterdam, which is quite new. I've been here for 6 months, and it's been amazing, and it's also been super challenging. And I've been thinking for a while of speaking about how there is a coexistence between the challenge and the enjoyment here. And I'm feeling shaped. I'm being shaped and sculpted by the challenges at the same time as I'm being loved and cherished and held by the love, by the enjoyment and the love, and being loved by the love. Exactly. Yeah. I'm being loved by the love. I'm being loved by God. I'm being loved by my friends here. I'm being held by this city, by the nature that is very present here. I'm feeling whole here. But it also has a lot of challenges, especially on the material side. Finding a place to live is it's like a hustle in itself. Finding a stable place to live. That's the main struggle, and the how expensive everything is as well. How if you're not in a conventional type of career, it can be quite difficult to find your own way and to find some kind of stability financially. So let's talk about those things. I'm not gonna give too much now, but I feel like I have more to share than I've been sharing for the past few years. I feel like I've been hoarding kind of some of my experiences because honestly, it was too much. I experienced so many rock bottoms and so much loss in such a small amount of time since 2023. So it's been 3 years since my last breakup, my last big breakup. And there was an escalation from there to now of endings and beginnings. And it never stopped. And I was feeling almost ashamed. I was feeling like a failure. I was feeling all over the place, very lost. And I didn't feel like I could share anything about it. I was feeling super vulnerable and alone and didn't want to spread my fragility on the internet. Like it didn't feel safe at that time. Definitely didn't feel safe and didn't feel exciting at all. It would have been forcing myself, and it would have been abusive towards myself to share at that time. But now I feel like I've reaped so many lessons and so much learning out of everything that I've been experiencing and that I'm still experiencing. And I feel I have enough calm in myself and enough excitement to be able to share. And I have so many ideas. I have so many topics that I want to talk about love, about community, about rock bottoms and burnout, um, how to make your sensitivity into a superpower instead of seeing it as some kind of disability. I want to talk about Michael Jackson because he's been my obsession over the past few weeks since I've seen the movie Michael, and it's been diving into my soul to obsess about his life, his person, his career, his soul. And I want to talk about all the beautiful beautiful reflections I've been having about him and his message and what he was carrying and the energy of his life and of his person. There's nothing like it. And for me, it's just such a confirmation of how unique every single person is and how unique I am, how unique you are. And how much time do we spend and do we waste thinking that we're not good enough and doubting ourselves and not going after our dreams? Yeah, I think I want to share more publicly about the way I look at ambition and dreams. Now that I'm going to reveal everything about my my big, big dreams and my big projects, but just sharing a little bit more about my approach, because I think it can be interesting to see how some of you resonate. And I also want to own my bigness with this podcast. I want to own how obsessed I am about my journey and discovering who I really am and my very unique approach. I want to own that self absorbed, self obsessed part of me, which is why I call this Diaries. It's going to be like you're reading into my journal, my diary, and that's what I want. And I want to create a level of intimacy and connection with you all that really feels like we're in the same room and we speak the same language. And by connecting to the depth of my psyche, you can connect to the depth of your own psyche. It feels really good. I'm going to stop the recording here because I just want us to marinate in this announcement. And I will release the first episode shortly. I haven't defined a rhythm yet, but I'm thinking probably a weekly episode would be great. It would keep me in the rhythm. And I know that I record much more than one long voice note per day. Not per day, per week to my friends. So I'm definitely going to be able to do that for you guys. And for us to get to know each other a bit better. Thank you for being here, for following along the journey. I know it's been a long one, bumpy one. And if you're still here, thank you. I will see you in the next one. Ciao.